Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 4:30.
Now at 4:30, trench rescue, the heroic removal of a Lincoln man after a serious accident at a construction site. Plus, upholding citizenship, how voices on both sides are responding to landmark rulings from the Supreme Court. And fueling flames, the new wildfire burning in northwestern Nebraska, how crews are battling the blaze amid the heat wave. But first, right now, celebrations and disappointment after two major rulings from the Supreme Court today. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday, everyone. I'm Mackenzie Johnson. In a blow to President Donald Trump, the High Court deciding to uphold the right to birthright citizenship. But Republicans getting a big win when it comes to transgender athletes. ABC's Olivia Rubin has the reactions.
Today, Democrats are celebrating a key ruling from the Supreme Court that upholds the right to birthright citizenship and blocks President Trump's executive order to end it.
This was the right decision.
The court ruling 6-3 to uphold the more than century-old legal precedent, which says that anyone born on American soil is a citizen.
I am relieved and very happy that the Supreme Court ruled in favor of birthright citizenship today. And that is what makes America great.
But some Republicans are decrying the decisions. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson vowing to find a way to overturn it.
I will say I'm very disappointed in that outcome. I think it subjects the country to serious challenges going forward, and we'll have to deal with it as a Congress.
President Trump echoing that sentiment, saying we will work to correct the ruling in Congress. But President Trump is praising another ruling from the court, which upholds state laws that ban transgender athletes from women's sports. It was a central issue in Trump's 2024 campaign. The president now writing the ruling, quote, takes that ridiculous situation off the table.
That's common sense and I think what we expected.
The case stemming from two teen athletes who were barred from competing in women's track and field in their respective states. But in a 6-3 ruling, the Supreme Court saying their exclusion is not a violation of Title IX and the 14th Amendment.
Community is like in a fight for its life.
And in another key decision today, the Supreme Court siding with Republicans and rolling back laws that restrict spending between candidates and their political parties. It all could unleash an onslaught of political spending just before the midterms. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
Now, after these rulings, President Donald Trump taken to social media saying the High Court's decision on birthright citizenship can be rectified through legislation and with his support. Trump is now calling the Supreme Court's ruling, quote, too bad for our country. Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen responding to the court's decision on transgender athletes, calling it, quote, a major victory for the future of women's sports. Pillen adding that Nebraska's girls should not be forced to compete against biological males. Now, on the other side of the aisle, Jane Klebb, the chair of the Nebraska Democratic Party, also weighing in. She says with the ruling, America took one step forward in affirming birthright citizenship, but, quote, took one step backward in targeting transgender Americans. Klebb also stating that our country needs to remember the value of freedom, liberty, and justice for all. Breaking now, one person is recovering at the hospital after a serious accident at a construction site here in Lincoln.
Good afternoon. I'm Emma Norwood. I'm here on the scene where a terrifying situation earlier when a man got trapped in an almost 15-foot deep hole on a construction site. Coming up tonight at 5 and 6 o'clock, we'll hear from the battalion chief about their efforts that took a little under 2 hours to get him free from that hole. He has been transported to the hospital. No word on injuries, but they did say he was conscious and alert when they were able to free him. We'll hear from that battalion chief as he describes all of their efforts to get him set free and all of the efforts from his co-workers when they realized that he had fallen into that hole.
All right, let's turn now to Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins. We're in the middle of a dangerous heat wave. Rusty.
These alerts here, the extreme heat warning and the heat advisory goes through 9 p.m. tonight. So we're almost done with this, but it's still going to be hot, just not extreme heat warning and heat advisory worthy hot, so keep that in mind. Storms are out there right now. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch up here in Wisconsin, and then just to our south and west, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. This activity here will eventually make its way into parts of Nebraska. That's going to be, it'll take a little bit, but I think it'll be here somewhere around sunset. There's a few scattered showers out there right now and a couple of rumbles of thunder every now and then over here just northwest of Grand Island. Now in Lincoln, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, Honda of Lincoln, Cam, it's warm, it's hot, it's humid. It's a little on the breezy side, not as windy as it was yesterday though, so that's a little bit of good news, but still 91 with plenty of sunshine. Temperatures are in the 90s, 93 in Omaha, 86 in Nebraska City, 91 in Lincoln, 90 in Beatrice, 90 in Hebron. Dew point still in the 70s, so that heat index well into the 90s, close to 100 degrees. We'll talk more about this heat, how long it's going to stick around, and the storm chances in the full forecast.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Rusty. Now to a live look at roads here in the capital city. This is Antelope Valley Parkway and Salt Creek Roadway. You can see it looks like there's a few people waiting in line there, but the light must have just turned green. They're moving. So for the most part, everything looking clear in that area of town. New details now. One man is behind bars in connection to a deadly crash on Memorial Day. Authorities say this man here on your screen, Josiah Brown, is the driver responsible for a crash on Northwest 84th and West O Streets. According to the sheriff's office, the 20-year-old was driving under the influence of marijuana and failed to stop at the red light in this intersection. They say that's what caused the crash, where one person died shortly after being taken to the hospital, another later passing away from their injuries. 8 people in total were taken to the hospital because of this crash, which you can see in this video sent to our Now Local News app by Lori. Brown is now facing serious charges, including 2 counts of manslaughter. Breaking now, the heat and high winds are fueling wildfires in northwest Nebraska, and we're learning overnight it's right in the same area of the South Fork fire. Now, the Banner County Volunteer Fire Department giving us a pretty good look right now of what crews are up against. You can see the flames stretching across the screen behind me here. According to the Crawford Volunteer Fire Department, this broke out on private property just north of the South Fork fire burn area. Here's an aerial view now of the blaze. It's being called the Log Road Fire, and it's already burned through more than 1,100 acres in Sioux County, according to Watch Duty. The Crawford Fire Department says a state and incident management team will be working there today, along with heavy air tanker support. That area is under a red flag warning. And here's some crews from the Knox County Emergency Management Team gearing up for the fight. Firefighters from several volunteer departments are now helping to battle the flames. We are monitoring the situation. We'll let you know how far the fire expands and what efforts are being made to contain it. Developing now, rescue efforts are underway in Venezuela. First responders and aid groups from around the world struggling to find survivors after massive earthquakes. Here's ABC's James Longman.
Hi guys, we're in La Guaira, which is the worst hit part of Venezuela after those double quakes last week. And take a look, most of this town, this area looks like this. Buildings have come down completely or been very badly damaged or at risk of collapse. We're just walking amidst the debris of people's lives here. I mean, there's a kid's shoe I can see just in front of me, a tumble dryer lying down there on what was the roof of this building. Now, rescue efforts are ongoing. We're surrounded here by various different rescue teams. A moment ago, there was a group of Spanish rescue workers here, and they are on these sort of mountains of debris, trying to hear for any sounds to kind of get people out. And there have been these extraordinary survival stories. I spoke to one mother in a hospital bed. She managed to keep her 18-day-old baby alive for 30 hours. Others have survived for more than 100 hours. But at this point, I think, sadly, it's becoming more of a recovery operation and less of a rescue operation. We're just seeing more and more body bags being lined up, bodies being found in the rubble. And right now, whilst we've had 1,700 people confirmed to have died, there are still thousands missing. Guys.
Definitely some sad news there. Also developing now, authorities in Monaco, France are searching for a suspect after a parcel bomb explosion at an apartment building last night. Officials say a person was caught on camera leaving the scene after the blast. The bomb, they say, was an attempted assassination on a Ukrainian-born business tycoon. The blast injuring 5 people, including a child. The motive is unclear. Coming up after the break, help in the heat, what one local nonprofit is doing to bring relief to families amid this hot weather. And the Supreme Court ruling on birthright citizenship is hitting home in Nebraska. Coming up all new at 5. We're speaking with a local immigration lawyer who breaks down what this ruling means for local families. Stick with us. Relief is on the way for people who are dealing with this heat wave. The Salvation Army says tomorrow they'll be handing out fans to families around the city and county. They're looking to help people stay cool while the sun is blazing down. The nonprofit sharing these pictures of the fans being delivered this morning. They'll be given out on a first-come, first-served basis. Each household will be getting one fan, and you'll have to show a photo ID and proof that you live in Lancaster County. But you can see there's some pretty big box fans there, so hopefully they'll help out people who need them. The distribution runs from noon tomorrow through 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And those fans will certainly come in handy because summer is just getting started. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins for the weather. Rusty, it is warm out there again today.
It is. And you know what I've been noticing is a little bit of traffic trying to flow, and it gets really hot, so not as many people out and about walking around like you would normally see. But this is a flip-flop from what we've been seeing the last several weeks, where this part of the street was closed and this part was open, and now it's the exact opposite. I'm assuming this is getting a makeover next. Precipitation still falling behind. The longer we go without precipitation, the bigger this number gets, and this one stays the same. So we'll see if we can remedy that over the next few days. And there's a lot of storm chances out there. This is just almost too hard to look at. Our overnight low temperatures briefly dipped into the middle 70s, but almost the entire overnight hour period was in the 80s. That's part of the reason we've been in this either extreme heat warning or heat advisory. It's not because the temperatures are way up there or crazy high. I mean, the heat index has been into the 100s, wasn't today, but it's the longevity of this. It's just the fact that we can't cool off. It is hot, it's humid, all the way through the overnight into the early morning hours. We just can't recover from the afternoon high temperatures, which are, high. But hopefully that changes as we head closer to the weekend. Temperatures tonight, though, remaining in the 80s all the way until about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then we start to drop into the upper 70s. But again, another very mild start to the day tomorrow. Storms here, nothing here yet, but you can see the activity starting to fire up well to our south and west. That's eventually going to make its way into our area. Just a few scattered showers and isolated storms out there, but there is that risk. Almost the entire state under a level 1, 2, and then there's a level 3 enhanced risk just to our south. Here's what the timing of the stormcast has. This is 9 p.m., so it's quite a ways away. It is only 4:45, so we've got about 3 or 4 hours before this even starts to move into southwest Nebraska. Notice southeast Nebraska not under much yet. The strong storms off to the west, but some of these could be strong to severe. This could be strong to severe. This has the better chance of seeing large hail and damaging wind. And then everything kind of moves off to the north. This lingers through 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, then should start to fizzle. That severe storm activity moves into South Dakota. And then scattered showers and storms a possibility through the first half of the day on Wednesday. So chances for rain, chances for storms, chances for severe storms overnight tonight.
All right, thanks for keeping us updated, Rusty. Developing now, several close calls at airports across the country ahead of the busy July 4th travel period. ABC's Rena Roy explains the latest instance at JFK Airport in New York City.
Scary moments in the sky as a JetBlue flight from Las Vegas approached New York's JFK Airport.
We collided with a drone back there in the turn as we're coming to assault. Just wanted to pass that to you.
You said you collided?
Yep, it hit us right above the cockpit.
The pilots reporting that drone strike happening at nearly 3,000 feet. The plane thankfully landing safely. JetBlue and the FAA say a post-flight inspection didn't find any damage or evidence of a collision, but an investigation is now underway. Then, just hours later,
Almost ran into a gigantic RC airplane right over there.
A helicopter pilot also flying near JFK says he nearly collided with a large remote-controlled airplane. These incidents come just days after a United pilot also reported a close call with a drone while landing at nearby Newark Airport.
We almost hit a drone right there about 100 feet below us.
One of the principal problems here is that even if you don't hit a drone, as an airliner, passing at about 250 knots, anything out there is a distraction. And we do not need distractions on approaches and landings.
And now this comes as many Americans begin to travel for July 4th. The TSA says it expects to screen more than 18 million travelers at airports across the country today through Monday. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Speaking of the 4th of July, a Central Nebraska high school band is set to represent our state as America celebrates its 250th in Washington, D.C. A group will perform from Grand Island Senior High School, and they'll be participating in the annual 4th of July parade marching through downtown D.C. That's pretty cool if you ask me. The parade is, of course, drawing the attention of Americans across the country this year. It will consist of bands, floats, military, national dignitaries, and much more. New at 4:30, a progress update for a community mural project at the fairgrounds over in Beatrice. The Beatrice High School Art Department says this is how much work has been completed so far. The group is carrying out the fun project, and they had to take a break from painting because of high winds. But today they're back in action, and they're doing all the typography behind in the background there, bringing it all to life. The final results will be ready here soon. Right now, a Nebraska volleyball star is getting some major recognition.
For Channel 8 News, I'm Andrew Ward. Husker volleyball legend Jordan Larson is officially inducted into the National High School Hall of Fame. Larson getting her start at Logan View High School in Hooper, a town in eastern Nebraska. Now is one of the most accomplished volleyball players in the entire world. She's inspiring generations of athletes. The NSAA sharing these photos during the ceremony and congratulating Larson on her newest achievement, saying Nebraska is proud to call her one of our own.
Pretty exciting. Of course, Jordan Larson isn't the only Husker legend. When we come back, we have a list of those legends. Find out which football players are making it to the Husker Hall of Fame this year. Our sports director, Nate Johnson, has those details for us coming up. And all new at 5, popular vote to learn about the new ballot initiative getting hundreds of thousands of signatures in Nebraska. Why it could be another decisive move for women's sports in our state. We'll be right back. Nebraska football announcing their 2026 Hall of Fame class today, and it's got some big names. From Corey Ross to Levante David to the late Sam Foltz. Let's check in with Channel 8 Sports Director Nate Johnson for all the latest on the new inductees announced.
Yeah, Mackenzie, it sure is a lot of names that Husker fans, of course, remember and love and have made a mark on Nebraska football forever. And let's dive into everyone who was selected for the 2026 class. Starting with defensive back Charlie Fryer in the 1980s era, offensive lineman Jim Scott in the 1990s, fullback Corey Schleisinger from the 1990s, I-back Corey Ross in the 2000s, linebacker Levante David in the 2010s, and late punter Sam Foltz in the 2010s. Joe Polanski is this year's State College inductee. The second annual Nebraska Football Hall of Fame Legend Award will be presented to Frank Solich, and Ken Pavelko will receive the Lyle Breismer Special Merit Award. We caught up with Levante David last time he was in Lincoln, and he spoke on just how special it was to be a Husker.
Yeah, it was very special for me, man. The thing about it was I just remember the relationships that I created, you know, while my time here. And a lot of the guys who I played with, I'm still cool right now to this day. The community was welcoming to me and my family. and just the playing days, man. Those good times, fun times for me for sure. You know, kid coming from Miami, Florida, coming up here, playing, you know, this style of football was really cool. You know, getting a chance to play in the 2 different divisions in 2 years was crazy. And I definitely appreciate that, and you know, being able to have the success that I did have when I was here, this was definitely incredible.
Well, such a great guy, and he is so deserving of being nominated as a Nebraska Hall of Famer, as is everyone. The Hall of Fame class will be officially inducted at a ceremony on Friday, September 4th. For now, the McKenzie will send things back over to you.
All right, thank you, Nate. Let's get our final check of weather here at 4:30. Here's Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins. Rusty?
I don't want to. I don't know about you guys at home, but I'm ready for this heat to be done with. I mean, I like summer just as much as the next guy, but really kind of hoping we can just level this off a little bit because it's not even July yet. I mean, it starts tomorrow, but goodness sakes. Temperatures in the 80s and 90s out there right now. Tomorrow morning, still a warm start. Now, we'll be done with the heat advisories and the excessive heat warnings, but it's still going to be very warm. Still in the 80s and 90s, lower 90s, maybe the middle 90s. So just because the heat advisories are done, it's still going to be sticky out there the next few days. Bit of a breeze and a lot of cloud cover in Aurora. Temperatures as we head through tonight will eventually fall into the 70s, 50s to the west, and then afternoon temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s, then back into the 70s, and then 80s and 90s again. So again, the heat and humidity sticks around all the way through the rest of the week.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to an eventual cool down. Thank you so much, Rusty. That's going to do it for Channel 8 News and our 4:30 newscast. But Rod Fowler is coming up next along with our reporters and citizen journalists. We have a lot of stories for you. Stick with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Founded and operated by American veterans and patriots, we bring a warrior ethos to every case. We are Barry Law.
Let your voice be heard by sharing your photos and videos to the Now Local News app. Earn points and redeem them for gift cards. Scan the QR code to join. from Nebraska's trusted news source. This is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight, born in the U.S.
There are a lot of people who are very concerned about this.
What the Supreme Court decision on birthright citizenship means for the immigrants living in Lincoln. Also tonight, Hall of Fame. Which Husker football legends are receiving the honor? And breaking now, bound for the ballot? Just into the newsroom, are there enough signatures to change the state's constitution? And rescue mission.
They were buried to the neck at the time.
A person gets trapped under several feet of dirt at a construction site. How several agencies came together to bring that person back to solid ground. Breaking now, finally free as we come on the air. A man is safe after being rescued from a trench in East Lincoln. LFR posting this view of the operation. Dozens of first responders in action, working together to get the man out of the trench. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Rod Fowler. This hole behind me, almost 15 feet deep. Crews spending more than an hour and a half working their way down until he's finally free. Channel 8's Emma Norwood was at the scene today and breaks down how everything went.
This individual had dirt all the way up to his neck. He was in a very dire situation, very serious situation.
Lincoln Fire and Rescue working tirelessly to free a man trapped in this 15-foot deep trench at a construction site in East Lincoln. Crews receiving the call around 10:30 this morning, and when they arrived on the scene, his coworkers were already trying to free him.
They were doing everything they could do to help this individual, and the individual was in a lot of pain.
Because of how the hole was made up, LFR having to work slowly to get him out.
This was actually a trench inside of a trench, which is very unique for us. And they also had an additional trench behind the first trench. So when you shore things up, it's very hard because you're worried about secondary collapses.
Paramedics constantly monitoring his vitals, hooking up multiple IVs to ensure his safety during the high temperatures. Crews using small shovels to dig around the man before a vacuum truck arrived to suck up some of the dirt. The whole operation taking almost 2 hours.
We had a lot of help from our partners that are absolutely critical to these types of situations, so we don't have to hand dig and bucket brigade everything out of the hole.
According to LFR, the worker was transported to the hospital, but was awake and alert. No word on if he has any injuries. For now, LFR is taping off the area.
We're going to have OSHA come down from Omaha. They'll take a look at it. We're going to keep a lot of our stuff in place, keep things secure. We will eventually take our equipment out.
Reporting in Lincoln, Emma Norwood, Channel 8 News.
And those crews today working under the dangerous heat as it continues to hit Lincoln and Nebraska for a third straight day. We're also looking out for the potential of some severe weather in our area later. Here's a live look outside from our tower cam. Yes, another hot and humid day. Sounds like some storms, though, maybe trying to creep in again tonight. Let's talk to Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins for the latest. Rusty?
I'm hoping some of the cloud cover that's out there right now kind of keeps us a little on the cooler side, but it's not really doing its job today. There is a little bit of light rain in south central and central Nebraska. Again, that might cool you off just a little bit, but overall it's not really amounting to much, but at least it's something. 6th and Perkins, Shones Roofing Cam looking at the Beatrice camera. A lot of cloud cover out there, but a peak of sun every now and then. And it is warm, and we still have those extreme heat warnings and heat advisories in place through 9 p.m. tonight. So that will be the end of that, but it will remain very warm for the next several days. Temperatures right now around 90 from Grand Island to Lincoln, Hebron, 91 in Beatrice, 93 still in Omaha, but the dew point still up there, 75 in Columbus, 70 in Lincoln. So you do have a heat index at 100 in Omaha, middle and upper 90s for everybody else in eastern Nebraska. The wind a little variable. It's out of the south and north, depending on where you're at. Again, a little bit of light rain trying to get going in south central Nebraska. That will eventually turn into storms coming out at us from Kansas by about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. And then it just kind of moves in a couple of different directions into north central Nebraska by midnight and into south central and parts of central Nebraska by midnight. And then everything tries to push through as we head through the morning hours. We'll talk more about this storm threat, what it means, and how much longer this heat's going to stick around in the full forecast.
All right, thank you, Rusty. The dangerous heat affecting Campbell's nurseries today as well. They had to close their doors early because of the high heat index and a broken air conditioner. They made the call for the safety of not only their customers, but also their employees, of course. They do thank everyone for their understanding. Right now, many are wondering what could come next after the U.S. Supreme Court hands down two big rulings today. Will there be new legislation on immigration, or could the president sign another executive order? Those are the big questions now, with the High Court upholding birthright citizenship in America. Justices also weighing in on transgender athletes in women's sports, saying the state bans can remain. We have two reports tonight explaining the importance of these cases. Meg West is covering the transgender girls in women's sports.
Yes, and this is unlikely to be the last decision involving the rights of transgender minors, Rod.
All right, we'll talk to you in just a little bit, Meg. We also want to come back here and check in with our own Mackenzie Johnson. Now, you wrapped up a conversation earlier today with an immigration lawyer. What's his reaction tonight?
David Zaritsky Brown says his team is celebrating tonight after reading a 31-page opinion of the court. Now you can see here the last page that was written by the majority of Supreme Court justices. The final paragraph reading, quote, "Citizenship then and now was the right to have rights to freely participate in our political community. The framers of the 14th Amendment extended that promise to every freeborn person in this land. We keep that promise today." Now this is a huge decision as the Supreme Court rules 6-3 to uphold the 14th Amendment, which grants birthright citizenship here in the U.S. President Trump has tried to end the right through an executive order, but the court disagreeing with that decision and voting to keep the rule, which says anyone born on American soil is a citizen, even if their parents are here illegally. Brown is a local immigration lawyer. He says this is a huge win for families who have been anxious over what might happen.
Our clients can breathe a sigh of relief that things aren't changing dramatically, that there's not chaos as to whether their kids will be able to get driver's licenses, passports, be able to travel with them, all of the things that would come with a decision that upheld this executive order.
But Brown believes this is not the end of the conversation around birthright citizenship, and the battle could very well be far from over. In fact, President Trump already vowing to take this decision to Congress. Take a look here. This is his post on social media after the Supreme Court decision today. He writes, quote, "We can easily make it up in Congress through legislation with the support of the president." And he's calling on lawmakers to start working on it today. Tonight at 10, we'll talk about what this means moving forward and hear from the Nebraska GOP and Democrats on their thoughts. Rod.
All right, thank you, Mackenzie. We're also getting reaction from D.C. to Lincoln right now over the Supreme Court deciding transgender athletes will not be able to participate in women's sports. Our team coverage continues, and Meg West joins us here in the studio with the ramifications of this decision. What could happen? Meg?
Good evening, Rod. In a 6-3 ruling, the Supreme Court upheld state laws banning transgender athletes from competing on girls' school sports teams, giving states the authority to separate athletic teams based on biological sex. The Supreme Court upheld laws in West Virginia and Idaho limiting girls' and women's school sports teams to biological females. So it's now up to the states whether they choose to enforce rules separating athletic teams based on biological sex under Title IX. To be clear, this does not create a nationwide ban. It just passes the power to the states to enact and enforce these types of laws if they choose. States that allow transgender athletes to compete under their own policies may continue to do so unless their laws change. The decision also providing stronger legal footing for the dozens of states that already have similar laws in place, like here in Nebraska, making it harder for them to be challenged. Today's decision is expected to increase political pressure on the 23 states without transgender sports bans, as the Supreme Court has largely removed the legal uncertainty surrounding those laws. In the studio, Meg West, Channel 8 News.
All right, thank you, Meg. Relating to the ban, breaking now, the Fairness for Girls Initiative receives more than 200,000 signatures here in Nebraska. Now, this is a separate ballot initiative than the one that the Supreme Court ruled on, and it's separate from what lawmakers passed, banning transgender athletes from participating in Nebraska athletics. Now, the goal of this initiative is to give the ban even more power by making an amendment to the Nebraska state constitution. KOCAN was at the Capitol while they were collecting signatures today.
Today we celebrate a historic initiative. With 211 signatures, we have broken Nebraska's record for most signatures on a ballot initiative. Nebraskans are making it clear we will always stand up for young girls.
We will, of course, keep you updated as this initiative makes its way onto ballots in November. Also breaking now, Mike Hilgers is releasing a statement today saying he has approved regulations submitted by the Medical Cannabis Commission. This approval moves licensing and regulating medical cannabis businesses in Nebraska forward. This now moves on to the governor's desk for final approval. We'll keep you posted as the governor comes to a decision. And some more breaking news this time from the Haymarket. Come take a look. The trees in the courtyard of the tavern on the square have officially been cut down. It's a story you saw first here on Channel 8. We've been following this story since the reaction started flooding in to the announcement of the tree removal. We're told the tavern plans on planting some new trees in their place. Well, stay with us. We have more for you after the break and a whole lot more coming up at 6 o'clock, including getting the van back. The founder of a lawn care service that mows lawns for free for those in need hit a deer with his van last month. How a Lincoln car dealership helped get his van back on the road. And coming up after the break, bridge reveal. The Havelock Bridge is officially open. What the Lancaster County engineer is saying about the success of this project. Stay with us. Breaking now, a crash near 70th and A, backing up some traffic. Citizen journalist Melanie on the scene of the crash. You can find this video on our Now Local News app. One of the cars involved in the crash had one of its tires completely stripped from its rims. Airbags deploying in that vehicle as well. We're getting in touch with police to find out if there were any injuries. We'll keep you posted as we learn more. New tonight, Kearney police releasing some impressive video from a chase. The footage you're seeing here is from one of their drones they launched after a suspect ran from a traffic stop. You can see the outline right there of the suspect. Let's take a closer look to see how they got the suspect into custody. You can see the Kearney police car come into the frame right there. They say they were able to take the suspect into custody pretty easily. That person is now lodged in the Buffalo County Jail. The police department says this is an example of their drones providing real-time support to bring incidents like this one to a safe conclusion.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
Continuing with extreme heat warnings and heat advisories through 9 p.m. So we've got another 4-ish hours on this. Now, that doesn't mean that a switch is going to be flipped and it's just automatically going to be much cooler and low humidity. Wouldn't that be nice? I need to invent one of those. I'd be a bajillionaire, wouldn't I? But so these are in place until 9 o'clock, but it's still going to be hot and humid as we head through the next several days. Now today, I mean, we were only 4 degrees above the average high. However, the low was about 10 degrees above the average low. So that's kind of what we've been dealing with here. It hasn't been really, really hot, but it's been very humid and the heat index has been very high, and those overnight low temperatures just haven't cooled off a whole lot. And this 75 was brief. Most of the overnight and morning hours were in the 80s. So yeah, temperature-wise, it hasn't been super hot. It's just been really, really warm and muggy for quite a while. So that's kind of why we had those heat advisories in place for the last couple of days. Outside right now just has that muggy feeling, muggy quality to it on our Barry Law Cam. A little bit of haze, a lot of cloud cover, and temperatures in the 90s. We're at 90 in Lincoln, 91 in Beatrice, 90 in Hebron, a cool 89 in Aurora, 88 in Kearney, but just about everybody in the upper 80s, lower 90s, dew points in the 70s, between 70 and 75 degrees for a lot of us. So that heat index is in the middle and upper 90s to around 100, like in Omaha. So it's not overly hot. It's just we haven't had the chance to cool off for some time. Not a lot of wind. At least the wind died down. Yesterday and the day before, that was way too much wind, but at least it's less than 10 miles per hour. So here we go with another storm chance. Now, last night we had several severe storms, especially in central, north central, and northeast Nebraska. Had one report near Scotia that had 3-inch in diameter hail. That is rather large. Now, there's all of the light rain out there right now from Grand Island south and west. 1 or 2 bolts of lightning earlier. The main threat for severe weather, however, is still way down here, trying to move into southwestern parts of Kansas. That is going to be responsible for this. This is a level 3 enhanced risk. Does not make its way into Nebraska, but the slight risk does. It's because of that storm down there will eventually make its way up here. And we're talking about large hail, kind of in the same areas that saw that large hail last night from O'Neill down to North Platte, and damaging wind. 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts further south into Kansas, but for us, 70, maybe 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Lincoln on the edge of this, the better chance is going to be further west. So let's kind of go through this. The storm is going to do a couple of different things. It's going to split apart, and the weaker part is going to head towards Grand Island and Lincoln. The stronger part is going to go up there where that hail risk was at. So let's kind of watch this. Any of these could be strong to severe. Better chance is that storm system right there. So it splits. This comes off to the east. 1 or 2 strong storms. Very severe storms towards Valentine, making its way towards O'Neill and north central and northeast Nebraska. This tries to make it into the Lincoln area, while this beelines up towards South Dakota, and then everything kind of fizzles out. A few scattered showers and lingering storms Wednesday morning. Some rain would be nice, that's for sure. And then that kind of continues as we head through the day on Wednesday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, and then eventually clearing out as we head into Wednesday night. More storms down to the south and west may make their way into our area Wednesday night. Temperatures tonight, once again, very mild, between 70 and 75 degrees. Highs tomorrow between 90 and 95 degrees. So the heat advisory is going to be done, but the heat remains between 90 and 96 degrees all the way through Saturday. Storms possible on Wednesday and Saturday. Just small chances, I think, on Thursday and Friday. And then again Sunday and Monday. Those temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s all the way through next week.
All right, thank you, Rusty. Happening right now, those in the Lincoln and Lincoln area have the ability to enjoy driving on a new bridge. Here it is, the new county bridge over Havelock Avenue. It's located just east of the Sandhills Global Event Center on Havelock between North 84th and North 98th Streets. We went to the grand unveiling today and heard from Lancaster County engineer Pam Dingman on the success of this bridge.
We're hopeful that the repairs to this bridge will last us another 20 years. Replacing this bridge would probably be, in today's dollars, about $1.5 million. $1980, 40,000 replaced it. So what we want to do is, and actually we paid more than 40,000 to stabilize this thing. What we want to do is get this bridge to last as long as we can.
She says they were hoping to get this project done last year, but some financial restrictions held the project up until this year. Nebraska football announcing its 2026 Hall of Fame class today, and it's got some big names in there, from Corey Ross and Levante David to the late Sam Foltz. Let's check in with Channel 8 Sports Director Nate Johnson for the latest on all of the new inductees announced. Nate?
Yeah, pretty special list there, Rod. You know, a lot of names that Husker fans, of course, remember and love and have made a mark on Nebraska football forever. So let's dive into everyone who was selected for the 2026 class, starting with defensive back Charles Fryer in the 1980s era, offensive lineman Jim Scott in the 1990s, fullback Corey Schlesingberg in the 1990s, I-back Corey Ross in the 2000s, linebacker Levante David in the 2010s, and the late punter Sam Foltz also in the 2010s era. Joe Polinsky is this year's State College inductee. The second annual Nebraska Football Hall of Fame Legend Award will be presented to Frank Solich, and Ken Pavelka received the Lyle Breismer Special Merit Award. And we caught up with Levante David last time he was in Lincoln, and he spoke on just how special it was to be a Husker.
Yeah, it was very special for me, man. The thing about it was I just remember the relationships that I created, you know, while my time here. A lot of the guys who I played with, I'm still cool right now to this day. The community was welcoming to me and my family. And just the playing days, man. Those good times, fun times for me for sure. You know, kid coming from Miami, Florida, coming up here, playing, you know, this style of football was really cool. You know, getting a chance to play in the two different divisions in 2 years was crazy. And I definitely appreciate that. And, you know, being able to have the success that I did have when I was here, this was definitely incredible.
Well, such a great guy, Levante. He's so deserving of being nominated as a Nebraska Hall of Famer, as is everyone in the Hall of Fame class. Will be officially inducted at a ceremony on Friday, September 4th. For now, the Rod, back to you.
Quite a list there. Thank you, Nate. Stay with us. We have more heading your way after the break, and a fresh batch of stories coming up in our 6 o'clock news, including Hilger's hopes. We're hopping on a call with the Attorney General tonight, why he's celebrating the Nebraska-Colorado water case, heading to the U.S. Supreme Court. Don't go away. New at 5, a local deputy lends a helping hand to a mom in need. The Cass County Sheriff's Office posting this photo of Deputy Walter Durston fixing a flat tire for a mom who was with her 4 kids. The deputy pulled over and assisted with the flat before her family made it out to actually help her. The family posting about this great act of service and says they're extremely grateful to Deputy Durston. Oh, that's nice. Let's get a final check of the weather with Rusty.
It's still warm out there. We have temperatures in the 90s for a lot of spots, and this is going to continue for the next several days. So upper 80s, lower 90s for a good portion of central and eastern Nebraska. That heat index is in the middle and upper 90s, even 100 in Omaha. Storms, nothing out there yet, just a few scattered showers in south central Nebraska. The stronger storms will start to move in after sunset.
All right. Thank you, Rusty. Thank you for joining us. World News is next. We'll see you right back here at 6 o'clock.
Founded and operated by American veterans and patriots, we bring a warrior ethos to every case. We are Barry Law.
Let your voice be heard by sharing your photos and videos to the Now Local News app. Earn points and redeem them for gift cards. Scan the QR code to join.